Yeah, I mean Notre Dame did everything they could to, keep me there. USC for me, it meant more to me. You know, it,
Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas. And as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSQ is my Twitter handle. Go check me out there. Also check out Coach B, Preston. Preston, who was supposed to be here this week, but he'll be here next week. And he does great. He does a great job as well, covering USC. So check him out in the future as well. So don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. A lot of you are watching the podcast, but not, following through and subscribing. Please subscribe, follow, all that stuff, rate, review. Helps the show a lot when all that good stuff happens. So we would definitely appreciate you guys. USC had a big press conference. They had a bunch of for all the new hires. They were talking to people. You heard Rob Ryan, you heard Chad Savage, you heard Chad Bowen, and we're gonna have, because we have time. And we really have time. We're gonna kind of break down what everybody said. And that the first one to go with Chad Bowen, because I think that's the guy who, number one, we want to hear from, right? We want to hear what he had to say for his transition from ND to USC. I think the first thing I want to start talking about is I guess fans can be salty. Fans can be whatever they want on online, whatever. But I think the slander from the Notre Dame fans about the city of Los Angeles, like, bro, like cesspool, making crazy comments about Los Angeles. I mean, it's, again, if I said it once, say 1,000 times, if all things are equal, the person's going to choose to live in better climate. Like, it's just really that simple. It's gonna be that simple. I mean, it's not that hard to kind of see. It's the fact that somebody who is, if things are equal, and things weren't really equal with Chad Bowen at ND to USC. I mean, at USC they pay more, but it's still a job it's a coveted job, and it's a job that, I know from a Notre Dame fan, just came from a national championship, all those things like that. He helped build it with Coach Freeman, and I totally understand the vitriol because USC and ND are rivals. I get it 100%. I get it 100%. But to attack the city, calling the name, stuff like that, keep it on the field. The people of Los Angeles don't even need all that drama. Because I mean, if you want us to go in on South Bend and Indiana, in the state of Indiana, we can go in on that pretty easily, and pretty easily. Why somebody would want to choose that job over that one. But so Chad Bowman talked about, a lot of questions about what he wanted to do as far as what he wanted to do as far as taking over this this team and what it meant to him. I think that one of the biggest lines in this whole thing was when he said, Notre Dame wanted to keep me, but USC meant more to me. USC meant more to me. Like, that's a big line from a coach. Like, I'm saying, for a coach, for a general manager, a front office person, a head coach, whatever. It's a big that's a big line. And I think that line probably is the one that stuck out the most for Notre Dame fans that kind of stuck in their craw a little bit, was the fact that he said that. And he's just being honest. And it's not, I think obviously USC paid him more, but I don't think it was necessarily a 100% money grab, because I mean, he could have just stayed. He literally could have just stayed or went somewhere else. Michigan tried to poach him. He's so good at his job and so well renowned for his job that Michigan tried to poach him last year, right? And Michigan wasn't able to get him. So that said a whole lot to me, that this was truly about SC truly about helping SC get to that pinnacle that has been such a long. There's been so many things that have gone wrong. So, in this time period, you got the whole Clay Helton era, all those things like that. But now the stars are aligned with the coaching staff on defense, with the coaching staff on offense, with the NIL situation. And now you have a guy who you really needed somebody to come out here and kind of take charge and just leave the plate of the coaches a little bit more empty. Let the coaches go coach. Let Coach Lynn go coach defense. Let Coach Riley go coach offense. Let those guys do their jobs so that you know the player acquisition, the numbers, and all the roster constructions and everything like that, those things can be left to somebody who that is their sole job, absolutely their sole job, and you can't have any and there's no and there's no issues with that. If you see my eyes drifting over, I'm watching the Lakers at the same time, but that is really something that I think is a really great thing for the Trojans here going forward, is that they have a guy who is going to sit in that chair and say, listen, this is the direction, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to have a relentless pursuit of that goal. So that's going to be cool to see SC do that. We've talked about recruiting. We talked about recruiting in the great state of California. And I mean, high school football players are falling off trees. That 206 class, that 2000 in sixth class is getting getting recruited very well. And then you also have a situation where like it is one of the best classes out there. So you have to sit there and you know that this is an opportunity for USC to really to get a haul of players. And he mentioned that they're going to major in high school recruiting and they're going to minor in the transfer portal. And I think the transfer portal is always should be looked at from some of these big schools as just, hey, we had an injury here. We need a player here on the O line. We need a player here in the a slot receiver. We need things here and there. We don't need our entire class to come from the transfer portal. That was never the intention. It never should be the intention for any team who was trying to build a roster to build it through the transfer portal. Makes sense. It makes sense financially. He also, I think, one of the best lines that I heard Bowman say too was one in which he said, "You're not just recruiting a player; you're recruiting a family." That means, that's a true statement. You got to keep everybody. It's not about keeping everybody happy. Just more of along the lines of you're in a situation where you are you're have that family approach, so everybody's involved. It's a collaborative thing. It's Jimmy is coming from Indiana playing at USC, and everybody's going to be everybody's going to have like a everybody's going to stay abreast of like what's going on with him and how to keep everything in that full circle. So when he's a freshman, maybe he's not ready to play until junior year. Maybe he's not, but he's still here. He's still developing. He's still grinding with his teammates as far as that goes. He's also staying with Lincoln Riley. I think, listen, I mean, he doesn't need to stay with Lincoln Riley to connect with Lincoln Riley, obviously. I mean, that's not really even necessary. But I think it is good for them to get that ability to talk to each other, talk ball, talk about construction of the roster. I mean, if he just comes over and fixes the defensive and offensive lines alone, that alone would help USC a great deal in the Big Ten, because how many games did they have where it was just one play, two plays, everything like that? And that's the reason why they ended up losing the game. Minnesota, Maryland. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And those are games that USC should win going away. And part of those losses were, hey, if they had a fourth quarter pass rush, maybe that would have helped. They didn't have a quarterback turn the ball over. That would have helped as well. So it's going to be fun times to see how he kind of manages this whole thing through. like I said, the 20s, the 27, the 26 class, 27 class, all those classes are going to be put together. And the best way to get good in college football is to stack classes. We know that. So you saw with Ohio State, you saw with Notre Dame. You're going to see it coming up here with Michigan as well. So um, really good insight here from Chad Bowen about what he wants to do and how he wants to help USC become a really good football team and reach the pinnacle. Where, like as he said, Cohen, Lincoln Riley, and Chad Bowen are also aligned in every way. That's something that's really killer. You kind of need to have that. And it's a real integral part of what's going on. This is not a situation where um you have like a Lynn Swan or somebody who's not really knowing what they're doing. I mean, she is. I said it once, said 1,000 times. She is a professional in every way. Like she's a boss. Um, she's an absolute boss as far as it goes. As far as being a really talented, an athletic director. I talked to folks at Washington. They love her. They did not want her to go, and her coming to Southern California really helps out a big deal. And you can see the joy that she has for the job, and you can see also the joy that players have for her because I think it was a Nebraska game where she was on the sideline. Somebody scored a touchdown, and they gave her the ball. Like that, like she's known. She's around the program. She's at every single game possible. She's not hiding in the bushes, collecting the check. Jen Cohen knows what she's doing, and she is a big boss. And really has a great deal of respect from everybody in the program. She's doing a great job building the program. And I think right now, the only result that really is needed now is for USC to be to do it on the field. And I think that's the biggest thing that they have to finish is that they have to do their job to do it on the field, and they also have to just they have to find a way to get into that playoff. If they can culminate all this head coaching, I mean offensive side of football, coaching, players, spring portal, which is going to be the last one, and they can put all these things together to go 10-2 and have two losses and make the playoff next year. That's it. That's it. That's all you got. That's all you got to see USC do, and I think they're getting there. And if they can just bring that to the table, then that will be the missing piece. Because as you saw this year, all you got to do is get into the playoff, and then anything can happen. Anything can happen, and then after that, you can make a run at a championship as well. All right, Student Body Right USC podcast. Dwayne Douglas here saying goodbye. Just a quick show. Like I said, we're going to break down everybody and talk about their importance to the program and what they bring to the program. So it should be fun times this coming up here. Next couple of weeks. We'll also break down the portals and stuff like that and talk about some of the USC guys who are going to the NFL and as the combine's coming up just around the corner. All right. Student Body Right USC podcast. Fight on.